Hey everyone, welcome to another Monday Morning Starter! Today I want to talk about a little story that I've heard. I know this shirt's a little bit small and you can see some of my tattoo, which, you know, tattoos, not really the go. I'm going to get mine lasered off. So, the things you do when you're young. Alright, today I want to talk about a little story that I heard that gave me a bit of inspiration for today. So I was watching a video the other day and I heard a story about a guy who started as a shoe shine boy. Shining shoes, obviously, shoe shine boy. He started as a shoe shine boy and today he's worth $600 million. Not shining shoes, but he's doing other things. But as he grew up, he developed his own recipe for success. And today, he's worth $600 million. That's a lot. That's a lot. So today I want to talk to you about recipe. Now, I'm not a cook. I don't even pretend to be a cook, but I want to use this as an illustration, sort of. So when you set out, let's say we wanted to make a cake. So we would go, all right, we would get a recipe from one of these books, like this one, Kylie Kwong. I don't really know if she makes cakes, but let's say she did. And in here, we've got a bit of a recipe on this one here. So let's say it was a duck cake, all right? And here is the steps we need to follow. All right, so we would go, so Kylie, tell us what to do on the cake today. And we would go, a little bit of caster sugar. Is caster sugar actually normal sugar? I don't really know, but I suppose, well, sugar anyway. And you would go in an egg, in a cake, you would crack an egg. Do you like my pink mixer as well? I love the pink mixer. So you would crack an egg, or you would crack two, something like that. And this is a bit like, I don't even know, Huey. It's a bit like Huey show. And then you put some flour in, and you look at the recipe, and you'd say, yep, sort of on track, that's how much I need. You probably measure it as well, but we're not measuring it for today, just for the purpose of time. And then you would go, okay, a little bit of milk, and then once that's done, if that's what the recipe said, you would go, okay, cool, that sounds really good. You would turn on the mixer, and you would let it mix, and then that would mix until it was ready. And then once the little pink mixer is finished, you turn it off, you put it in a pan, and you put it in the oven. Yes, that's what you would pretty much do. Follow that recipe. Then, you know these recipes? You know how people go, oops, I should really take the shells out of there first. But you know how people go, I've had a recipe that's been passed down for generations. It's grandma's recipe, and it was her mum's recipe, and her mum's recipe, and I have it. And it's the recipe of all time. And they guard it, and they hang on to it. And all you need to do is follow grandma's, mum's recipe, and you will be able to cook pretty much like grandma. To get that same dish that's so good, that's been passed down for decades, maybe even centuries, I don't know, but around that. But you know that, like this, one of those ones. Everyone protects the recipe. And it's so good they pass it to people. And all they need to do is follow that. And that guy that went from a shoe shine boy to a $600 million heir, worth $600 million, followed some sort of recipe. And our success is no different than cooking a cake. It is exactly the same. There are recipes everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. We go out and we go and buy Kylie Kwong's book. Look how thick this book is. Full of recipes. And you don't have to reinvent things. You just go to Kylie's book and you go, I know there's some stories in here, but you want to cook Kung Po chicken. Kung Po chicken. You want to cook Kung Po chicken. If you want to cook that, you just have to follow these steps. And you know what you're going to have? Kung Po chicken. That's what you're going to have. You're not going to have a meatloaf or a shepherd's pie. You are going to have that. That's all you need to do. You just turn the mixer on, you do your thing, and you can feed all your friends and they all go, wow, how good was that? Grandma's recipe was like, you serve dinner up and everyone goes, oh my goodness, how good was that dinner? Oh, I'm so full. Grandma's recipe. It wasn't yours, it was Grandma's. You just followed the steps and you got the result that you wanted. Here's my question for you. What recipe are you following today? What recipe are you following to generate the results that you want? Because the results that you're getting are because of some sort of steps you've been following. There's some sort of recipe. And if you're not happy with those results, all you need to do is look at people who already have them. That's why you go out and buy Jamie's cookbook, because he's already got the answers. That's why people invest in this stuff. And your life is exactly the same. Whether it's Jamie or Kylie or Grandma, any one of these people, any one of them, they've just worked it out. They've just worked it out and made it easy for you. And if you want to change something about your life, if you want to become worth $600 million, you need to go and find that shoe shine guy and ask him what he did. You've got to find out his steps. If you want to become great at real estate, if you want to become a fitness instructor, if you want to become an author, if you want to become an awesome stay-at-home mum, you just have to find people who are smashing it at the moment or on their way there and look at what they've done and create a recipe of their steps. And you need to guard it and follow it and don't change it. So if I was baking a cake and I put the water in first, then I put the flour and I didn't follow the steps, I'm not gonna have the same result. If I put, where are they? If I put Cocoa Pops in my cake and I was making a vanilla sponge cake, it's not gonna turn out the same. It is gonna turn out different because your ingredients are different. You don't need to try and work this thing out. You can put your own personal touch in, other people's success recipes and make it your own, but there's a million people out there, or there's heaps of people out there that have already worked it out. And if your life is not exactly going in the direction that you like right now, you need to look at someone whose is, and you need to find out what they've done, and you need to follow it. You need to commit to it, and you need to stay on that path. And it's gonna go in that direction. And then you can just tweak it as you go, your way, your style, and make it authentically yours. But sometimes you don't even need to change it. Like Grandma's recipe, why would you change it? She's already worked it out. It stood the test of time. It's sort of just gonna turn out the same provided you follow the steps pretty much every time, and your friends are gonna rave about it. They're gonna keep coming over for dinner and everyone's just gonna love it. It takes a lot less effort to just follow the steps of Grandma's recipe. You've just got to ask yourself, what recipe are you following today? And if you want a different outcome, you just got to change your recipe. Anyway, so that's my few minutes of inspiration today. I'd love to hear about what's happening in your life. I'd love to hear about what recipe are you following, and if you're finding success right now, tell us who you've followed. I'd love to hear about the mentors that you're following, the inspiration that you've got, the other recipes that you already have. Do you have a Grandma recipe that you want to share with people? What have you worked out? What recipe have you made from other people's success? Who's already got the recipe out there? Love to hear about it. Put some comments underneath this video. Let's make our lives outstanding. I know it can be done. You just got to follow other people that have already done it. You're going to head in that direction too. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed my little cooking segment. Look forward to seeing you on the next video.